Hello, I'm Binzer Flynn, and welcome to the Flinncast. How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Cryos peeled a lot of vegetables. We did a ham dinner with my dad, and
There was much peeling.
And then we did
and table
turkey
setting.
dinner. Yes. So it was good. Get to see family. What did you guys do?
We just went over to Raina's parents for a couple hours. It's pretty low key, but pretty good.
Always good. I get to see my brother, which was nice because he was allowed out of New Brunswick.
Yeah, it was a while since you've seen him, hasn't it?
Christmas.
I can't believe that Christmas is like, it's almost a year ago now. Like shit.
Yep.
Wow.
He didn't stop in Moncton at all. Like they drove. He's in Fredericton, and they drove. They did everything. They peed, did all the things, all the pit stops before they got to Moncton, and then drove straight through Moncton and didn't stop.
Oh yeah, Moncton's that's a hot zone now, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah, New Brunswick is getting a little second wavy again.
Yeah, all because of stupid people, I think, by the sounds of it. But
yeah, I don't think they've been super forthcoming where it started, because it was all of a sudden like it was in a nursing home, but I haven't seen like brought in from a staff member who happened to travel.
Well, they don't dare after what happened with the doctor. It was ugly.
Yeah. Well, it's still better than what's going on in the States. The government just like, well, we're just going to have to let it kill whoever, run its course.
We're bored of it, so we'll just ignore it.
Hello.
Hi.
Your virtual artist alley thing looks incredible.
Thank you. I just jammed everything I had into my space.
Well, hang on. Let's not that anyone will listen to us, but let's plug your thing. What's the virtual con again? Tell me about. I don't actually know a lot of details about this virtual Trek Con. What's going on with it?
Okay, virtual Trek Con is put on by two different podcasts. So they're okay. One of the podcasts is called The Seventh Rule, and it was started, I believe, by Sirach Lofton and Aaron Eisenberg, who played Jake and Nog on DS9. So they so now and Aaron passed away last year.
Yep.
And there's just been a big community kind of has been built around that podcast and around the people who were involved in it, and they often have like a lot of the DS9 people on talking to them, and like they have a really cool community. Anyway, and they have put together this virtual convention. They did one over the summer that was I only actually saw like a couple of the panels then, but they still had like a bunch of guests. And it's all on the two podcast YouTube pages for like the panels, but then there's also like interactive stuff too. So I think they're like live when you're watching it live, and some of them are in Zooms, and like Armin Shimmerman is doing a couple of things, and Tony Todd and JG Hertzler are doing a Klingon town hall at one point.
I saw the graphic that you posted, and there's a lot of recognizable faces there, so that's really cool.
Yeah. My patron Rod Roddenberry will be there.
I've still been checking his Instagram once, and I'm like, post a painting, you bastard.
I know, he's the worst. I know. Anyway, and this professor out of Duke University named Mohammed Noor, I believe, has published a book talking about I can't remember, but he basically uses Star Trek to talk about science.
Well, that's
like
cool.
That's like his whole thing, and he found me on Etsy and asked me to be a vendor.
Oh wow!
Which is super cool. So so we have like a Zoom room, I have my own Zoom room for the weekend.
So is that sort of your digital presence? People be able to go in there and they can look at your shit, and can they buy your stuff?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to like link them to my Etsy or do PayPal with them to make purchases,
Right.
but the Zoom room will be like me in my space, like as though I was at a booth.
Well, that's
And
cool.
they walked up to my booth. Yeah. So, I mean, so I'm there for like an hour and a half each day at different times. And yeah, so anybody can just pop in and say hello. And
Well, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be a gushing fan in there.
I know. they showed us how to use the block button.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be good.
In case any problem people show up. So,
Very.
But I have bartending experience, so I can.
Oh yeah.
I can handle it.
Yeah, you'll have no problems there.
I was in there earlier, like figuring out where to stand and like doing a little monologue and like anyway.
That's cool. So, this approach is like it's going to be, I think, a way of the future, and it reminds me of I hate to use Second Life as an example, but it reminds me of like the malls people set up in Second Life where you can it's like if the internet was given physical form, you can walk around it. Like this is just going to keep becoming a thing, which I think is super cool.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy because as far as I can see, I like I did a little research. I found like 2 vendors who have done something like this before who actually talked about it online. And even they were still just kind of like trying to figure it out. So that the nice thing at least is that it's like I can't do it wrong, I don't think.
Right, sort of everyone's in on the ground floor at the same time, so that's cool. That's going to be the way of the future. Well, that's awesome.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, and it just seems like a really cool. Oh God, shut up! Sorry, I'm just shutting off my notifications here. Getting the dings out. It's just the number of people involved in this, like from a variety, like Robert Picardo's coming, Michelle Hurd from Picard, Doug Jones from Discovery, Armin Shimmerman, like I said, there's Sidi Galfadil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Dr. Bashir. This the whole thing really gives a good my casual impression of it. It gives a good solid impression of it. It doesn't look rinky dink is what I'm saying. It looks
exactly
substantial.
And I wasn't even sure about it when I agreed to do it, and then the more like all of a sudden it's just getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, oh cool, okay.
I'm just picturing holographic Robert Picardo coming into your Zoom room and making a big fuss. Why are there any paintings of me?
Yes.
Please state the nature of the capitalist emergency.
Right. Oh man, sorry, and I'm all amped up because I just crushed 4 episodes of Lower Decks. So.
Oh wow, you're fresh in your memory. Good. All right, well we're gonna get to Lower Decks in a minute. But I had some old news, but I just crossed it off because it's all weeks old now. But there was one bit of news. I erased it. Oh, it was the WandaVision trailer because it was like 2 weeks ago. This is the first cast we've done in a couple weeks because
it looked trippy as fuck.
It looks so weird, but I'm into it. It set a big record for like 53 million views in a day or something like it.
Oh wow,
dude.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And the rest was just movie news, like stuff like Dune and Batman been pushed back a year or two. But you know what? Like I'll wait.
Yeah.
Did you see yesterday that Disney, they reported that they're going to put more focus into their streaming because they're losing the monies and everything else?
Oh, yeah.
No one's going to go for that $30 movie bullshit, so they got to retool.
Yeah, the next one that they're doing, it looks like it's free to release.
Yeah, and that's what they should. Because, seriously, next month, everyone's, including my own, year subscription to Disney Plus is gonna come up, right? It's like now we all got.
Yeah,
do we want to
remember that the other day?
I know, right? And that's like I'm gonna be asking myself, do I need to keep it? I mean, I will, but because it's got access to all the Star Wars and Marvel movies. But it's like now's the time people will be saying, you know what? Do I want to keep this another year?
Well, that's probably why they put Mandalorian at the same time, right? So if ever, like for me, I subscribed the day it opened up. Like the first Mandalorian episode, which was I think like November 8th last year. It was like a Wednesday, Friday. You got 2 back to back. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I was like, bang, year subscription right there, and I guarantee they put the Mandalorian around the same time, so people will like be like, oh, sweet, new episodes of Mandalorian. Let me renew my subscription.
Mandalorian is like the little tugboat pulling the Disney ship online right now.
Yes.
at least for adults, right? So I would imagine if you have kids who love Disney movies, that Disney Plus is like a slam dunk because you probably enjoy watching Disney stuff as an adult more than you would enjoy whatever the fuck's on Netflix, like Paw Patrol or Bob the Builder, or shit like that.
I do like that it's my library for Star Wars and MCU movies. Like, it's all just there. I do like that.
Yeah, agreed.
Saving me hard drive space. Oh, the other weird piece of news today is TV news. And Jenny, this goes way back for us. They announced a fucking Dexter reboot.
Is it a reboot?
Well, I saw the word reboot in an article. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the fuck they plan to continue it, if they're going to continue it. But even if it's a reboot, it's going to be weird. But that is the most unexpected TV news I've had in a while.
That's crazy.
And it's the same actor coming back for it. And the same showrunner from the first 3 seasons, a.k.a. the good seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what to expect out of that, but I'll check it out. But we used to watch Dexter fucking 10 years ago in your apartment down.
Yes.
I'd come down from Valhalla. We'd watch every week.
That's right.
The John Lithgow season. It's way back.
Do you remember like with the big cliffhanger? Spoilers, everyone. And the two of us like after the bathtub.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the two of us sat there for like 10 minutes and didn't say anything. We were both just like...
There's a lot of fan debate about how good it goes up to like, 7 or 8 seasons in the last. It gets weirder and changes tones and they do some crazier stuff. Like the first 3 are super solid. Then after that, they're still good, mind you. It just, it wasn't everyone's cup of tea after season 4.
It's like Breaking Bad. The first couple seasons are really good and then it kind of drops off after that.
I would argue Breaking Bad never falls off. It's always good for me, but it does get different. That's for sure. Anyway, before we move on to Lovecraft Country, just did anybody finish watching Raised by Wolves the first season?
I have not, because then I started watching Bly Manor, so I have to finish Bly Manor and go back to Raised by Wolves. Mostly because Raised by Wolves, I was starting to get frustrated by some of the plot points.
Well, okay, we won't do any spoilers here if you haven't finished it, but some people online raised very good point that it's definitely Ridley Scott type thing because the characters do things that make no fucking sense. There's plot holes big enough to fly a ship through, but it's still good to watch. You still enjoy it. It's kind of like Prometheus or Alien Covenant where it gets weird, but you're still kind of down for it.
Right.
Yeah, it was just, there were a couple of things I'm not going to go into because I want to finish it all and I want to.
We'll come back to that.
That made me go, wait, what?
Yeah, see, it's like Ridley Scott shit. It's like, why do you do that?
And then I really enjoyed Hill House, so then I had to start Bly Manor when it came out. So
nice.
Yeah, Raina binged that in a night.
I'm got 3 left.
And did anyone watch the first Supernatural back?
Yeah,
I still haven't yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes, I did. It was good, but it was just kind of a.
It was a filler. It was a filler.
Throwaway. But yeah, it was. I mean, the reality is, it wasn't supposed to be the one we saw after not seeing Supernatural for months.
Exactly.
Right? It was just supposed to be a kind of monster of the week, sort of, just inserted in the storyline.
Yeah.
In the X-Files, we used to say you had Monster of the Week and Myth Arc episodes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So this is just a Monster of the Week. It was good, and it was really nice having everybody back. But
it was a fun episode for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, we'll be keeping an eye on Supernatural as it closes out. All right. Let's go. We got like 4 episodes to go. I won't go over in super detail. I got notes here, but just, chime in with whatever. But Lovecraft Country. The last one, or the first of the list on our backlog was the Fox Spirit episode flashback, and that was totally one of my favorite episodes of the season so far.
Kumeho.
I think so. Gia is the character's name.
Yeah, it was really good. But the thing I like what they're doing is it's like each episode kind of is about somebody's backstory a little bit now. Right now, it seems like.
Yeah.
Or kind of featuring them on some level. So it was cool because we kept hearing her name and stuff, but we didn't know anything about her, and we just, I don't know, I assumed she was just your regular ex-girlfriend.
And the thing that was cool about this episode is that like I said early on, if Lovecraft Country, if each episode was just a standalone with some weird shit, this one would have totally worked by itself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, it was cool. It was interesting to see how it tied together at the end too.
Yeah, we got to see Tick doing some very bad shit.
Yeah, so it was cool. You got kind of some Tick from a different perspective,
Yes.
and also why he had been trying to get in contact, why they had been trying to talk, because I mean, she had obviously witnessed what happened to him, sort of, but then she couldn't understand why he lived and why, like, she has as many questions as he did, I think. So she
Yeah.
wanted answers as well.
The speed dating shit was fucking hilarious and so cruel.
Right? Like,
Just, you're facing somebody and you put a X through their number. It's like, oh.
and when she saw the guy that she thought she was going to connect with,
Yeah, and then he shuts her down. So cruel.
it was.
Christina's overarching mission, we find out the truth about William and her being William, but he was a real person who died, and she sort of distilled his essence. Her quest to become immortal. One of the episodes, I think it was episode 8, started off with the death of Emmett Till, a very significant historical event, and
Yes.
but sort of to test her invulnerabilities, she recreates the way Emmett Till was killed, and that was fucking beyond fucked up for me.
I think it was because I'm finding her increasingly sympathetic on some level, which is weird because she shouldn't be, but I don't think she's all evil.
Her motivations, I totally understand. Like, she's not a very good person, but it's like you're kind of on her side, though. Like, you get it.
Yeah. But I think she did that partly to test her invulnerability, but also because Ruby had kind of challenged her and said, you don't care about that. You don't care about this boy. You're like, you don't care. And she kind of, Christina was like, well, yeah, I don't.
Pretty brutally honest there.
Yeah. So I think she did it in part so that maybe she would feel sympathy.
Right.
Or empathy, I guess, really.
Yeah. Like, the guy she paid to do that, like, who would do that?
Right?
Like can you do this for $1 million? Like, no, you fucking crazy person.
I would like you to murder me.
In this very specific way. Yeah, graphically and specifically.
The episodes have just been the way they're tying in kind of historical stuff too. And
Powerful
we'll talk
stuff.
about the last two because I have some feels. But the last two have been like the ones that every time I think that I'm like okay, they've reached the peak of the story, that it's just they keep layering on something else, and then I'm like, oh my god, I don't even like explain it to my sister-in-law on the weekend because she hasn't watched it yet, and I said, the big thing is you find yourself sometimes rooting for the monsters because the real bad guys are the racist awful people.
Yep.
But it's so good because it's been actually teaching me about history that I presumably should have known and learned in school.
It's true, like, especially like the about Emmett Till, and this and the Watchmen series was a real education about Tulsa, right? Like,
yeah,
and that stuff.
Yeah.
I hadn't really. I mean, I'd actually heard about Emmett Till before, but like the Tulsa massacre, like I didn't know about that, and now I do. So one of the episodes focuses on what I have called in my notes here, Hippolytus Odyssey, where she
that was so amazing.
Where she figures out the orrery, gets it going, activates this portal, and goes on a weird as fuck wild journey. But you know what? Like, it was so weird, but it was very beautiful. And by the end, I was totally feeling it.
It was like some very 60s sort of sci-fi on some level. It was like, but it was cool because I mean, you don't really know very much about her, either other than she's the wife and she's the mother and, the aunt and all that stuff, but you don't know. You start to get a little peek when she says, that she named the comet
Hmm.
back, but then you just don't know about her. And then, yeah, she became this amazing kick-ass woman on the other side of that. It was
Yeah, they didn't use her very much up until till that episode. But like you said, it's like every episode, it's all tying more and more in, it's all clicking
Yeah.
in. But as it was happening, I was like, what the fuck is going on? This shit is wild and weird. But I was like, this is kind of fun too. I'm liking it. So we also discover through that portal scene, Tick goes to the future as a son who wrote a book called Lovecraft Country.
Yeah. Who details most of the things that happen with a few details swapped out, names swapped out, but yeah, including how he dies. So, so much has happened that you have to, perhaps his son wrote that to make the story good. Right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, we got one episode to go to find that out, I guess.
Like his son changed other details in the story. Maybe he changed that too. We don't know.
Right. He changed the detail with D, I think, and
Yeah.
D is the next thing on my notes here, where she gets cursed, and talk about more layers of weird shit happening. The demon kids chasing her around was the scariest fucking thing for me for the whole show so far.
Agreed. They actually creeped me out more than any of the Cthulhu monsters.
The music
At
they were
all.
playing during the chase didn't help at all.
Oh God, no! It was terrifying. Like it
pretty
was
weird.
just, and the fact that nobody would listen to the poor kid.
No.
Like it was just, yeah, no, it was very, 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 very scary. I was watching it in the dark and I had regrets.
Oh man, I like D though. She's tough.
Yeah, no, it was good, and I like the fact that she just stood up to everybody in the end.
Yeah.
Too, so.
So the second last episode was the trip back in time to Tulsa, which was a totally cool episode, and them witnessing events in their own past and narrating them as they occurred, but knowing they couldn't really interfere. That was I don't know if I could have stood still. I would have been trying to do something, but it was so surreal, I guess.
Tick's father's scenes just broke my heart.
He's so good. I love that guy. Not the character, but the actor.
Yeah, he just, we kind of get some peeks into why he's the way he is. Like we kind of have an idea that, coming from the beginning that, he's not Tick's father, that George is.
Right.
But and then we find out that he's gay.
You know what was really surprising to me is that when Tick finds that out, he actually calls Montrose a faggot. And I was like, wow, I didn't think he would do that. It's like a whole other level of discrimination,
That's the thing, right? Like that's how discrimination works.
Yeah.
Just because you're discriminated against doesn't mean you don't discriminate against other groups.
Yeah, and the actor is fantastic. He really sold it. He was shocked and disgusted, the look on his face.
And then to see why he still went back knowing that he was going to have to see what he saw. And I understand why he wanted to change it, but then he realized that he couldn't and had to watch it again.
But they had a part to play after all, and it was very cool to see where Tick hits the bat with his foot, and Montrose goes, yeah. You're the mysterious stranger. He's like, okay, well, I got to go do my thing then.
Well, it's why this isn't how it's supposed to go. Whereas, and then the dots connect.
That was cool.
So they did travel to the past, and they did actually influence things.
Yep. They recover the book of names, Letitia. Oh, Letitia's now invulnerable, by the way, and she's walking through the chaos and flames and carnage, and she's just completely invulnerable. That was super cool.
When she held her hand as she burned, that was
oh, that was powerful.
Yeah. It was, and the fact that the woman just recognized that she had to let this happen to herself in order, she just knew she had to stand there and let herself burn.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, but then now the portal. It's like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, this is one of we got one show to go. The other shows we're going to talk about tonight have finished, so we're kind of wrapping them up. We got one more to go, so we can do one more cast before we go on vacation next week.
Discovery's about to start, so we got that too.
We're going to be all over that. All right, let's go on to Lower Decks, shall we?
So many episodes. I'm actually trying to remember the two I can remember 10 and 9 in my head pretty clearly, but I'm a little waffly on 7 and 8.
It's 7. Okay, 8 was the one. Oh, jeepers!
Don't strain yourself. I've got the notes broken down so we can kind of jump around. Let's go down the character. I got a few character list things here first. So let's talk about Beckett first. One of the first episodes that we're catching up on, her best friend comes and she's temporary first officer, and
yes, Beckett
is cool because she's a natural at the job. She could be a captain, no problem, but she hates the rules. But she's cool because she finds ways to do good in the galaxy by just going around those rules. When she put her hair up and rolled down her sleeves, she turned into a different person entirely. It was weird.
That was awesome.
I thought she was playing that up, so. Unrelated, it's rumored that her best BFF, Captain Chick, is actually a former lover from the Academy.
I could see that.
Nice.
They did the same thing with Rutherford and Tendi, but Boimler and Beckett, they've turned into best buds over the season. And it's actually, I thought I wasn't going to like Boimler at all, but he's really grown on me. I feel like his character has actually developed a little. Actual development.
Which is something about this show that I'm really enjoying.
Plus, he has the occasional flash of genius. Like for episode 9, when he's recreating the holodeck stuff, he hacks everybody's personal logs to create a facsimile of the holodeck, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you can't just go to the computer and call up the captain's personal logs and, listen to them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I need a little know-how for that.
The efforts he goes through to brown nose, and then it all blows up in his face.
Which episode are we on?
Any of them.
Okay. Just speaking of that episode and the holodeck and that, because it's very fresh in my brain because I just watched it. That like where it turns into a movie.
Yes, that's on my note list here. Is some of the tropes, the Star Trek tropes. We got a movie episode with lens flares everywhere, and I like them ducking the credits.
Yes.
Plus the character signatures in the credits.
Oh yes,
was a throwback to I think the first movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they did the certain things you have to do in a movie, like crash the ship. They crashed the ship.
Yes.
There has to be a classic bad guy flying a beat up bird of prey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the surprise self-destruct.
Yep.
Oh wait,
that
was a different episode. Oh god. Oh.
Well, that still falls under Star Trek tropes. Like we got, like I said, we got the movie episode, but we also had a trial episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of excellent references all around.
Oh, just
like I found the episode 7 when the quote unquote away team away on a Black Ops mission is like delivering plants, and they're treating it as like the most Black Ops covert whatever.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty funny. Ransom's like pumping iron in the background.
Oh man.
Why am I not surprised that Tendi makes a dangerous covert operative in a black suit?
Not surprised in this list.
I feel like Tendi's the kind of character that I feel like should be annoying the shit out of me, but I love her. I absolutely adore her.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that her and Rutherford are best buddies. And did I miss early in the season that Rutherford's first name is Samanthan? Like, that one got right past me.
Sam. I don't know if it's short for anything.
It said Samanthan in like the movie credits. Like that's why I wrote it down. I was like,
yeah, it is Samanthan Rutherford.
And I like that they're not trying to develop either. Well, I'm not so sure about Beckett and Boimler, but Rutherford and Tendi, they're just best buds. They're not trying to romanticize it. Like Chris mentioned, there was so many references. Now, Jenny, I know when they said Roga Danar, you knew who exactly.
Oh my god,
that.
I died. I died.
I was like, Jenny's gonna get that shit.
I'm so happy.
I knew who he was. I pictured him in my head with that 90s hair.
Oh my god. I just like the number of times on this show where I'm just like, I just have a grin on my face.
Did you catch the Jellicoe reference?
Yes, the babysitting. Yes.
It was quick, but I caught that one too. I was like, Jellicoe, shit, yes. There's a lot of arguing about how canon this show is, but like when they were in the museum, whatever, stealing the ship, and he's doing, I'll distract him with the fan dance though. Just how many people heard about Uhura's fan dance? Because he goes, not that, I said the real fan dance. And I mean, we didn't quite get a Q episode, but we did get a Q appearance, and I was really happy with it.
Yes, me too.
And it was good.
And Beckett's she's like, fuck off, Q, go bother Picard. Yeah. It's like, Picard's so boring, he's always making wine.
I really liked the trial episode. Oh my god, it was like the best setup ever. Like, Tendy's a ninja mass murderer, whatever. And like all the things that had to go hilariously right that nobody knew anything about in order for that to go off perfectly.
You know what I love that they addressed was with the bridge crew, who I didn't think we'd get to know that well in the season, but we really have, and I'm really enjoying it. They make a point to poke fun at bridge ambiguity, where you either know exactly what's going on without any real communication, or you're fucking lost.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's like, send them a message and they fire on it. Wait, no, that means invite them to dinner. Wait, what? So the finale, well, there's actually a lot to talk about in the finale. Someone on Reddit raised the point that if this show is at all canon and the Pakleds are actually a big threat now, that's ingenious.
Right?
I enjoyed the TNG throwback on that one. And let me tell you, Jenny, when the Titan comes on
my god,
the TNG theme, I'm thinking, I wish I could see Jenny's face as she watches this.
I mean, unfortunately, it was spoiled for me like several days ago. I just I wasn't being careful, and well, I mean, there was a friggin' picture of the two of them, like on the internet. So it was, anyway, so I knew it was coming, but
it was still good, wasn't it?
Exceeded my expectations, even knowing it was coming. Like, oh, God.
It was crazy good. Reddit was on fire the next day. The fans were so happy.
Oh my God. And they were like comedy gold.
They really work for this show. Like, I mean, Troy's kind of more dry, but it works. But Riker, he's perfect for this show.
Oh my God.
I will say, this was my favorite episode, but my favorite line of the entire series came out of the movie episode. Ooh. When Shax is like got his big phaser repeater, and he's like, "When you get to hell, tell the paw wraiths that Shax sent you." I'm like, best line ever.
He's such a good character. I am so sorry he's gone now. It's like, fuck. Like, he's like the Tasha Yar. He's like the early casualty.
But maybe not.
I mean, he's great. I think of Shax, and I think he's like an exuberant, enthusiastic Mandalorian. So I want more of him.
Big time.
Also, fucking Badgie.
Yes! We haven't seen the last of Badgie.
Oh God, everything about it. I just like that last episode, like every second had something amazing in it.
Jam-packed. It had the first fucking exocomp Starfleet officer, Peanut Hamper, who turns out to be a total shit.
She just fucks off.
And then beams herself in the middle of space and presumably just rots there. It's great. But yeah, they were totally doing the setup of like, oh, we have a new crew member. She's kind of special. Like the Deep Space Nine episode where the girl needs gravity because she's in a wheelchair or whatever. Or the typical like, oh, look at this new crew member that just so happens to have this skill that will save the day. And then they fucking turn it on its head and she says, no, fuck you guys, I'm out.
Peace out. Very good at turning all the tropes on their heads. I love it.
Oh, man.
At the start of that episode, when Boimler reveals the big secret about Mariner being the captain's dog, like, I didn't think they would do that. I thought that would, like, the whole ship knew. I thought they'd drag that out forever.
They made TOS canon somehow?
That was,
Oh my fuck, when Riker says, sorry, I was on the holodeck watching the story about the first Enterprise. A long trip getting from there to here. I was like, oh my
Archer and those guys?
God.
Yeah.
That was good. That's such a good reference to.
What a tip of the hat.
travesty that is that finale. Yeah, that was almost like that was almost enough to make up for that finale.
Because they haven't made a lot of Enterprise references.
No. Well, that Trip Tucker. Oh God, that was good.
Trip Tucker sprinkles.
Yes.
Was he your Captain Kirk with Trip Tucker sprinkles? Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. Oh man. But yeah, like every word that came out of Riker's mouth in this episode was just like
So I think this pretty much confirms that Mariner and her mom must have been on the Enterprise at some point, right? Because Riker seems to know them both pretty well. And from what I can tell, Riker went from Enterprise to Titan with I don't think there was any downtime or anything in between.
Yeah, because he was going to the Titan after Nemesis.
Shit, I wonder if anybody scoured shows or movies for anyone that physically resembles Captain Freeman. I wonder if that's tucked away and they just made something out of it. I could see that happening. I
also like the jazz reference at the end of the episode.
Man.
Warp factor 5, 6, 7, 8.
And that little bit about Risa and the. Should we take the small organ?
Between this and his appearance in Picard is I ain't get enough of Frakes.
Oh, I know.
One thing, so we can officially cancel my theory that no one's going to be promoted by the end of the series or the season, because Boimler took his lieutenant junior grade promotion off to the Titan.
Oh, he's losing that.
I'm really interested to see by what method do they bring him back to the Cerritos for season 2.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be some sort of cooperative mission. It'd be like when Worf went to DS9 but got shuffled back to the Enterprise for the movie, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was on the movie because the Defiant got blown up, but yes.
They'll find a way. But being Lower Decks would be a very silly reason.
Yeah, I seriously, I loved this show so much. I can't wait for the next season to come out. I'm glad they greenlit 2 seasons up front.
Oh, yes, did they?
Definitely.
Good. Jenny, are you caught up on The Boys?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to The Boys.
Oh, nice. I didn't know we were talking about them too. Oh.
Laser my tits. I'm used to her. The actress that's playing Stormfront. The last thing I saw her in was The Newsroom, opposite of Jeff What's-His-Face. I love that show. I think she did a fantastic job, and she played a Nazi exceptionally well. And I hope the world doesn't end up hating her for it.
She was brilliant.
Wow.
This character was fucking repellent, but she was great at it.
Yeah,
and her really German was very good.
Yeah.
Was it?
Quite impressed. Yeah. No,
I mean,
awesome. I am not German, but the accent was convincing, and I read what it was online, which I now actually don't remember exactly. Was in reference to her daughter in a car ride, I guess.
Yeah,
but
they were in an orchard.
Yeah, it was. Right. It apparently was spot on. So
cool.
So I had this broken down basically by character, so we can jump all over the place. So we started Stormfront, so let's keep going with that. Her backstory revealed she was the first successful soup. It didn't. I might have missed it. Entirely possible. It didn't reveal if that her long life was unique to her or not. Will soups live a long time if they don't die violent deaths? They never answered that to my satisfaction.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I don't think they have. I mean, everybody that we've seen die, they can certainly die. Just, we haven't. I don't know. Were there any of the older ones that have just?
Not that we saw, I don't think. They were either be retired and then they would get killed. So
none of them are old enough yet. But I think we might get an answer to that in season 3 because Jensen Ackles is going to be Soldier Boy. So and he's another old school one, right? So I think that will probably get answered.
I don't think. I mean, if it's in present day, I can't see them aging him up.
No.
Somebody online was theorizing that they'll bring. So he's supposed to be the Captain America analogy, right? So they'll bring him back as the anti-Nazi character to redeem their image.
Yeah. So Vought's whole plan was basically a white superhuman race, and Stormfront kind of won Homelander to that idea that he'd be their leader. And man, their fucking rallies, man, total MAGA shitfests.
It's crazy, eh?
What was interesting to me was the start of episode 7 just started off with some totally random guy who got fucking radicalized by the propaganda, and then he shoots a guy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
By
Right.
hearing it over and over and over in the media, on the internet, in his podcast.
Spookily fucking relevant.
Mm-hmm.
To all our listeners out there, don't be a Nazi. We'll repeat that enough times as it takes.
Yes.
Fuck the Nazis.
It's interesting too, just with Stormfront, the fact that she had such a good grasp of social media and knew that was the way.
Exactly.
That was her in, and it was the memes and the like.
Mm-hmm.
It was so spooky.
When the media machine turned on her, that was the only time it threw her off her stride and she got scared. Was when that turned on her.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they effectively hid her for the last. This takes place in 2019, I think, and she was around in the 70s. So she's been like out of the public eye for 50 years, right? So she could just, if things were starting to blow up for her or for Vought, she could just kind of fade into the background again and just, resurface under a new name, 20 or 30 years from now. Because she looks like she's, in her 30s or whatever. So, Vought could just put her in a basement for 30 years and then trot her out under a new name and be like, look at this new soup we have.
Exactly.
And she could start all over again.
The thing, we know she can heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And technically.
Cut from laser my tits. We know that she can heal. So.
Yeah. So that.
I hadn't even considered the possibility she could come back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Homelander didn't say she was dead. They said that they had her in an undisclosed facility. So.
Then we now know that they do have soup-type jails, like level 42D. So transitioning over to Homelander, again with the media machine, his kryptonite is a slip in popularity. And Jenny, you said this before. The guy playing him, Anthony Starr, he's a fucking amazing actor. Like
he's my favorite. Like I cannot get enough of him. Like just
I really like the scenes where he's like genuinely trying to be a good dad.
Yes.
Like when Jake is like freaking out at like the Seven Land or whatever the heck it's called, and he's like, "All right, we're going now. Goodbye."
Yeah.
Capew.
That was interesting because he very quickly abandoned his kid at the table to take selfies, but then when he saw how it was fucking his kid up a little, then he got as angry as Homelander gets in public.
Yeah, exactly. I really liked the exchange where Stormfront was, talking about telling the kid about white genocide.
Oh my god.
Which is that was a little on the nose.
Oh yeah, and Homelander's reaction there, because at first he's like, "Oh yeah," and then because his face is so expressive.
Yeah, it is.
And as she was saying that, he was kind of like, it's like, ooh, like you went a little further.
Wait, what? What are you saying?
Yeah. Like you see him kind of react in a like kind of way.
Oh, the scene where it was like a daydream scene where he lasers the entire crowd in front of him. I thought it happened. I really did.
Me too.
I'd like he finally snapped. That's it.
I
was genuinely surprised that it was just him daydreaming.
Mm-hmm.
I also particularly enjoyed after Stormfront and Homelander start super fucking. They're on TV and one of them, she puts her hand on his knee and Butcher just goes, "They're fucking."
Yes.
He just knew right away.
The jerk off scene was also particularly
fun.
My
god.
I read just today that was the scene season 1 was supposed to end on and they cut it. So now
really?
They put it back in. That fucking summed Homelander up perfectly.
Good luck to anybody watching that with their mom or dad.
I know, right?
What's that superhero show you're watching? Whoa!
Yeah.
He probably comes like a shotgun too. He probably.
Oh my god.
Down a helicopter.
We didn't actually see that, but I guess that's too far. Like that's the point. It's too far.
That's too far for the boys. Really?
We got some bare Anthony Starr bum. That was nice.
Yeah. That was nice.
I was just expecting them to give us the payoff, so to speak.
Yeah.
And And because that, I mean, that was in my mind too. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen?
Yes.
But
Yeah. I was waiting for like a silhouetted kind of like
yeah,
something. Yeah.
but no.
My biggest surprise with that it was that the suit is 2 pieces that he can take his pants down. Because it really looked like a onesie with a belt.
I
Mhm.
think, they've just realized that have to be bathroom trips occasionally, and he
Well,
wears it all
yeah.
the time. I think they've recognized, as so many of us cosplayers have, that you can design it in one piece, but then you're screwed. You can't drink
Yeah.
water for the rest of the time. So
Well,
Yeah.
funnily enough, I saw an article saying that the actress in the Stormfront suit, they said they made it 2 pieces so she could go to the bathroom.
Amazing.
All right, let's jump over to Queen Maeve. Merritt, I bet you got some feels on this because you've been hoping
I
for
love
her. You've been hoping for her
Mhm.
redemption arc this whole season.
I did, and I got it.
She
Oh,
got
did I get
two.
it?
She got 2 pretty
Yeah.
significant saves in the final episode.
Yeah, like it was like, I mean, I am so glad that they dealt with the airplane thing again. Like, I'm glad that came up
Yes.
because that really bothered me. And
Mhm.
so I'm glad that that was her leverage, and she got deep defined, which was quite clever.
Mhm.
So that was really cool. And I
In-
mean, I can understand why her girlfriend, like, how do you live with that?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and then when she got really upset and like flipped the table in anger,
That was
like
cool.
Mhm.
that was kind of the remember that the person you love has superpowers.
Yeah.
Remember that.
I almost felt like she did it on purpose, just to, like, obviously she didn't want to lose her, but she also like almost wanted to
Oh,
do her a favor.
she's a little self-destructive, Maeve.
Yeah, that too, exactly.
What I found very interesting is that when Elena discovers the airplane footage, Maeve doesn't try to weasel out of her part in it. She just like she didn't deny it or make excuses. She explained why she had it, for protection, but she didn't kind of play the innocent in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
point
she
did
didn't
she say
shirk
he
away
made
from the
me.
fact that she
Like,
couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, she couldn't do shit in the situation, but yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if they released that to the world, she would look as damned as Homelander, and she knew that. Sleazy Vought, man. The marketing of the superheroes. # Brave Maeve.
the brave Maeve. Like, and just everything. And then when Ashley was so upset about the breakup
Mhm.
and finds her in bed with a guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, talk about self-destruction. Just like again, the actor, so good.
Yeah.
And Ashley was just like, "But this isn't lesbian. Like, what?
All right, let's jump over to Black Noir, the mysterious
Oh, man.
I
ninja.
laughed so hard. He has a tree nut allergy.
Yes.
I died. Joni can tell you. I'm like, I lost it.
Apparently, the actor who plays him, who is actually a black guy. I remember a long time ago, I said there better be a black man under that mask. His name is
Yes.
Black. Come on, and it is, and I think it's Nathan Mitchell. I think, and he has a nut allergy in real life. And Carl Urban heard that and said, "You need to make that his kryptonite in the show," and they fucking did it.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is so good.
Black Noir just shove an almond joy in his mouth, or a Reese's Pieces, or actually it wouldn't be a Reese's Pieces because tree nuts is not peanut butter. So you need almond joy, or yeah, I don't know what else.
Maeve just like blah blah.
A turtle? Shove a turtle in his mouth?
It was best. I feel like he's kind of Deadpool-y. I think that's what his story, without the witty. He's like the opposite in that he doesn't talk at all, whereas Deadpool doesn't shut
Oh,
up. But
huh.
he's like got the reason he always wears the mask and the scars and stuff. I feel like maybe, but we'll see.
This is nothing new to me. The Snake Eyes fans are up in arms over fucking Black Noir.
Oh, really?
Well, it's the same character more or less, except
Yeah, I guess,
Snake
yeah.
Eyes is a hero, right? But we get some tidbits about Black Noir, but we don't get enough for my satisfaction because I always love these mystery ninja types. But like when the Compound V news broke, he's in the hallway crying, and he's being creepy with a kid trying to cheer him up after he gets half his fucking guts blown out.
The reason he was crying is because Compound V made him scarred, or mute or both.
Yeah, something like, I don't know, but there's definitely something to that. But I was kind of hoping that when he was looking for Butcher, that maybe, I don't know, maybe he's going to switch sides or do something unexpected, but he didn't. He was Vought's attack dog the whole season.
Yeah.
Wondered whether, like, they talk about what happens when they give Compound V to adults, right?
Oh.
So sometimes they go mad or whatever. You don't get. the
Sometimes they get big
powers.
dick energy.
I was just going to say, perhaps Black Noir was a graduate of that super asylum that
right?
they
That's what I
discovered,
wonder.
that they discovered Lamplighter in.
The other thing about Black Noir is that I was surprised to see that Giancarlo Esposito's character has like cameras and microphones on him all the time,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like built into the suit type thing.
Hmm.
I think we'll get more of his backstory next season.
I think so.
I don't think he's dead. I don't think the nut allergy killed him.
Well,
No.
they said that that he was alive. They didn't think he had brain damage, but it was hard to tell.
Oh right.
He's definitely not dead.
Mhm.
I was also amused that Maeve kicked away the EpiPen that he tried to use.
Yep.
Like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Girl's getting it done.
She
Yeah.
sorted him out.
Speaking of you go girl,
Yeah, girl's getting it done.
that was so awesome.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Like,
All the ladies, like,
the
oh, bitch.
pylon.
The beatdown.
That was
And the guys are
so-
standing there like they can't do shit. So they're
Yes.
just like, well, I guess we'll just stand here. And somebody online was talking about how that the girl power scene in Endgame felt really forced, but this was like supernatural feeling that the three of them
yeah.
just go to town on her.
Yeah.
You wouldn't heroes wouldn't kick you while you're down. They just kicked her when she was
Yes. And Kimiko.
I really liked her this season.
Oh man.
I was and when her neck snapped, I was like,
Right?
Yeah, but she survived that before, so I knew she like Black Noir did that to her like in the first season, so I knew she was going to get up from that.
Right.
we got some good background on Frenchie this season. He remains one of my favorite
Yes.
characters, and his disconnection and reconnection with Kimiko.
Mhm.
I didn't find they did a lot with Mother's Milk this season, but he was still solid the whole way through.
Oh yeah.
He's
We
great.
got a little bit on his dad there,
Mhm.
and how his dad also tried to fight Vought and died.
Yeah.
Oh, we also got Butcher's dad in the form of John fucking Noble.
I know, right?
He's great.
He was
Hmm.
I was like, hey, it's Shitty Denethor, also
Yeah.
being a shitty dad.
Yes, exactly. John Noble being despicable.
I always think of him as Walter from Fringe, where he's just
Yes,
this
I
lovable
know.
nut on acid all the time.
Mhm.
sure.
I really enjoyed Starlight this season because she committed the whole way. You know, like she got the chip out of her. You know, like
Yes.
she was completely committed to the fight. By the end of the season, she's back. You know, on the inside and wearing her old costume, mind you.
Oh.
Yeah. When they had to save Huey, she had to just straight up kill an innocent guy. And what was funny about that is by the time they get Huey to the hospital, Starlight and Butcher, they kind of bond, mostly over making fun of Huey, but
Yeah.
I didn't foresee bonding between Butcher and Starlight in season 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, they kind of have that like nod thing going, like the I acknowledge you and I acknowledge you back.
Yeah.
So we who else we got here? Deep in A Train. I found the whole church cult thing, Scientology shit, it kind of tired me out. They never really explained that Fresca thing, did they?
No.
I think it was just a visual gag.
Must be. They must have bought a lot of advertising.
And
that
I
season.
like that. I'm hoping it's, based off the last scene where his head explodes. I'm assuming that we don't need to worry about them next season. Like they're put away now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with
Not sure.
Giancarlo Esposito's character, whose name escapes me in this show,
Yeah.
did mention that he's like the great grandson of the original Vought guy.
Mhm.
Deep in A Train this season, neither one of them had any real character development. Neither of them became a better person. It was just they continued being shit people, and A Train gets back on the team. Deep doesn't. That's the sum of it.
Mhm.
They're both still just dicks.
I really enjoyed all the church stuff. I read a couple of books about Scientology a couple of years ago, not sorry. To be clear, books from people who have escaped from Scientology, not Scientology books.
I assumed. I wasn't worried
Yeah.
about you becoming a Scientologist. I'd be over there
But-
for the intervention at once.
But they, I mean, they definitely did their research because, like, they nailed all of it. Like,
Felt like they did.
all the little buzzwords, all the little like, just all the little in jokes, it was very well done.
I didn't even laugh when you said it was aliens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing this season confirmed that there is soup porn. Has anybody seen Homebanger? Fucking lamplighter, man. We just wants to sit around and watch porn.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
can pivot to Lamplighter from this,
Yes.
the one thing I found kind of cool was this is Sean Ashmore playing the exact opposite of Iceman,
I
Yes!
know,
which I
yeah.
thought
Yes!
was kind of neat. Like
He's
right
playing
down to the
Pyro.
layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were in that asylum and that tentacle came through the door, I knew exactly what it was right away. I was like, that's super
Yeah.
dick. That's super dick.
I
It's
was
so gross.
afraid, but
Mhm.
yeah.
He's really good with it. I mean, maybe he can see through it, but I mean, he was just going blind. He got him.
Mhm.
Moving on.
So I actually have a question. So the girl or the woman who escaped, the head
Cindy.
smasher,
Cindy.
yeah,
He's like an omega level
know.
telekinetic.
yeah, and so is her power similar or the same as the congresswoman?
Yeah, Newman.
I looked this up because
you.
I was trying to figure it out. So, what the internet said,
Hmm.
because you always go
Yes.
by the internet,
Must be true.
is that Newman explodes heads, and Cindy is telekinesis, so she was kind of squashing heads.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Cindy seemed to more destroy the whole body in one go.
So
Yes,
she's like
agreed.
Jean Grey if Jean Grey was a mean person.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They kind of modeled her after. Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But that character is still loose somewhere in the world now.
Yeah. I like speaking of the congresswoman, I really am quite interested in the setup for next season.
So much for Huey going out on his own, getting away from the soups, eh?
Yeah. So Jenny, some people are assuming that she's Vic the VP online.
Oh.
Yeah. No, there's somebody else said that her character was male in the
Yes,
graphic novel,
yes,
so
yes,
yeah.
yes. I actually need to reread them.
Butcher's arc. I feel
Yeah, we
that
didn't really talk about many of the boys.
I feel like Butcher got the fact that he
Oh God, yeah.
was willing to take the kid, even though he hates soups, and
Hmm.
he was at first ready to just like kick the kid to the curb so he could be with her, and then he just in the end was like, nope, I promise.
Props to Carl Urban, because the character seemed like he's like, I gotta do the right thing, but he seems super fucking tortured over it, like
Oh yeah.
just killing him.
The kid was actually quite like he did terrible crying. Oh bless. It was he did not do the crying
Yeah.
very well, but he did a lot of the other stuff pretty good. And I mean, kid actors, it's pretty hard too. But
Let's just give lots of props to Jack Quaid this year.
Oh
and Huey,
right.
like I think
He had a really good year as Huey. He was also Boimler.
Yeah.
He's had a good year.
He's been busy.
His Instagram is a delight, by the way.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
I think that Huey. I like that we found out why Billy Joel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was nice,
Hmm.
and that his mom is in fact not dead.
Yeah.
I saw today, Jenny, you can probably verify this, that in the comics, his mother is not dead and his parents are happily living in Scotland.
Yes. Yes, they are, actually.
You know what was interesting with Frenchie's backstory is that Lamplighter apparently didn't mean to kill the kids, and he seemed genuinely regretful about it, but he's still a complete douchebag at the same time. Like,
Yes.
Up to the point of self-immolation.
yeah, what a prick.
But even that was a ploy. He's like, I wanted to do it in front of my statue.
Yes.
Bitch.
And then there's Huey, like, trying to saw his hand off.
Oh my
That
god.
was amazing.
Oh,
I was like, what's he? Oh my God, he needs his hand.
like the boys always, you forget, and then they do something really gross, and then you forget about it. Then they do something really gross again, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey man, and Huey is always willing to do what it takes.
Yeah, no question about that. So the only things I have written down for season 3 is that, as we mentioned, Jensen Ackles will be Soldier Boy, and apparently the only thing Kripke has said to Anthony Starr Homelander about his character for the next season was, quote, homicidal maniac.
Nice.
In this season, him and Stormfront were handing out their own street justice, right? Like, just
Oh yeah.
straight up killing people, so it's just going to evolve from that. And what's funny is I have another note here saying that when Butcher goes to meet with Vogelbaum, you kind of get the impression that if Homelander had a really nurturing upbringing, he could have been Superman. He could have been.
Well, you can see it when he's with his son. He wants to be a good father, and he wants him to have the stuff that he imagined he missed in his life that would have made him happy.
He just doesn't know how.
I was going to say they didn't really leave us a dangling plot thread for season 3 like they did with season 1 and 2, but like I guess the Congresswoman is kind of that person, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, the Congresswoman hook was that's enough for me.
And I want to know where Cindy went.
Yes, definitely.
I'm on board just to see what the face of the Seven looks like going into season 3, you know, like what they're going to do. Because Starlight's back on the team, Black Noir's not dead, you know, like that most, and A-Train's back on the team. So I think that leaves only the deep spot and Stormfront's slots open, right? So we're going to, who are going to be the people in those slots? And there's too much in this show that's so utterly repellent on a human nature, but it's all happening in real life right now. Like the fucking MAGA and all the fucking cults. Shit.
I think that's why I'm obsessed with Star Trek right now.
I guess we should be at least a little thankful no one's actually got fucking laser vision.
That we know of.
Yeah, really. And we'll do next week, we'll wrap up Lovecraft Country and start on Discovery. And then Vacation, and then Mandalorian.